Welcome to Global Health Exhibition, the convergence of healthcare, innovation, investment and impact.
It shows a pattern of adaptability. Healthcare professionals, they adapt to the dynamics and changes and advancements of their age.
Opening keynote from Secretary General at the Saudi Commission for Health Specialists.
Good morning, Your Excellency, distinguished guests, dear colleagues, and leaders from around the world. Let me tell you about something I saw not very long ago. In a hospital corridor, I saw a young nurse showing a senior physician a faster way to use their hospital digital system. The doctor smiled and said, "You're a lifesaver." Across the hall, a physiotherapist was explaining to a pharmacist how patients recover after stroke. None of this was planned or written in policy. But every single moment of those was a small act of teaching and learning. And altogether, this what forms the true pulse of healthcare. Health practitioners are not service-providing workforce. They are a dynamic learning force in a knowledge-driven industry. Because the lifeline of healthcare is not technology. It is humans who learn. Across the global health system, knowledge flows like oxygen in blood, invisible but vital. It flows from nurses to doctors, from technicians to nurses, and from patients back to the practitioners. Health education is classified as operational spending, not capital investment. Meanwhile, the world spends on health almost $10 trillion annually, about 10% of global GDP. Out of that, less than 3% goes to education, training, and professional development. In other words, for every $100 we spend on healthcare delivery, we invest only $2 to $3 on the very thing that makes delivery possible: learning. The results? A projected shortage of 11 million healthcare professionals by the year 2030. A widening gap between what we know in science and what we apply in practice. This isn't just a workforce challenge. It is a worldwide learning crisis. So why does the world continue to underinvest in the one thing that sustains every system? Simply because we celebrate visibility over vision. A new hospital can be photographed. A new curriculum cannot. So as you see, health and education have become surgically separated, and health education falls between the cracks. It is what I call the structural paradox of global health. Learning isn't a headline or a hot topic, but it is the quiet force that makes every headline in health possible. Every act of healing is in fact an act of learning. So what truly creates value? It is not equipment that saves lives, it is the competence with which it is used. That's why the true value chain of healthcare is educational, not operational. The good news, we can fix this, but only if we change how we think about investment in health. We must reframe health education not as a cost, but as the most powerful investment in resilience. Imagine if health systems tracked learning outcomes alongside patient outcomes. If global donors set aside just a fraction of the $100 billion health spending to upskill 50 million professionals within a decade, that single commitment could narrow the gap in health workforce by 30%, a return no financial market can ever match. Now, imagine a world created by such an investment. A world where every caregiver is a tutor, where hospitals are classrooms, where ethics and empathy are taught with the same urgency as anatomy and pharmacology. A world that invests not only in machines, but in minds, the most renewable form of capital there is. This is not a dream, it's a direction. And here in Saudi Arabia, through our comprehensive healthcare landscape, we are proud to see learning not as a stage of training, but as the foundation of an entire system. This is a message on behalf of my fellow physicians, nurses, pharmacists, dentists, and all health professionals. As we gather here among partners and innovators from around the world, let this be our collective call to action, to make learning the most valuable currency in healthcare, the currency that fuels accessibility, equity, and quality for generations to come. Competent health and care professionals are the engine of every health system, and health education is the fuel. And in the age of algorithms, machine learning can process data, but only human learning can save lives.